So our game takes place in a dark fantasy world, and it takes place over 5 levels. And we were thinking about how we should do our difficulty settings, and we thought that we could tie them in with the seasons, because our game is about nature, it's about forests. It works thematically if we have the seasons dictate the difficulty level. So in spring, we've got pretty clear skies, we've got these beautiful little butterflies flying around. We're basically on easy mode here. Then we can switch to summer, where the grass is a little browner, a little yellower, there's less clouds in the sky, the light's a bit harsher, right? So this would be when it starts to get a bit more difficult.
All right, sweet.
Then we've got autumn, which is kind of overcast. It's starting to come in. It's a little less bright. We've got kind of this leafy kind of texture on the ground, and of course the trees are starting to turn. Let's go to winter, which is the most dramatic change. Right, so we've got lots of snow, the river's frozen over, the home tree's lost its leaves, you know, the parts of the environment, they swap materials, the rocks have changed. This one was the biggest. Complete cloud coverage. So this is like the most obvious change, and I think the fog is maybe a little bit too intense, but we can address that as well. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, did you want to talk about some of this stuff, Brendan? You had some
yeah. Well, I mean, I love watching you play with it, because I think it's just cool to to play around with. So like just showing that I think is really cool, especially the tweening. I mean, tweening day to night makes sense. Tweening between seasons doesn't make sense, because when the level loads, it's just going to load all those assets. So the time swapping of seasons, which is why they just kind of pop when we do this, but that's perfectly fine. Looking at this system, and you might have noticed when Billy was playing, there was no gameplay. It was purely just moving around, testing out the visuals, changing seasons, etc. We decided to split our levels into essentially 2 parts. One is just the environment and the level itself. So is what you're seeing here. That is just purely assets, environmental things, irrespective of the gameplay. Previously, we just had a single scene for each level with prefabs, and we'd modify prefabs and try not to overwrite prefabs, and then message each other and it's like, don't save the main scene, like discard your stuff and stuff like that. So I actually got this from another guy in the co-working space I'm at Games Plus, Alex from Manix Games. They're working on a game called Scav. And, I was just looking and playtesting some stuff with him, and he had these editor buttons, custom editor buttons that they'd put up the top that I was very curious about. And the way that they'd set up their system was just like this. The environment was its own scene, then they had a gameplay logic scene, then they had a UI scene, and then they had all these different scenes that they would load asynchronously on top of each other when they had to. So I like that idea of being able to separate gameplay logic and all of that stuff from the actual environment, especially as we develop this further, and hopefully, we can get a few other people working on it, and they can be doing assets and building more rich environments for us without ever the fear that they might break something in terms of the gameplay logic. And then when we want to play the gameplay, right, that button up here that just says load gameplay will then load the gameplay layer over the top, and then we can come in and play the game as usual. And what's also nice about that system is that it allows us to see where performance issues may be. So Billy's built the level out, and it's running at a silky smooth 60 frames per second with no gameplay on it. That's really good. Like, that's what we're aiming for. And if as soon as the gameplay layer comes on, it drops down considerably. Well, we know that there's some inefficiencies in that aspect of the side of the game, as opposed to the graphics being the problem.
Yay!
Yeah. Oh, that's looking real cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
We need the northern lights in the background.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Around. Yeah.
Okay. So let's plant some trees. Now, these trees don't have their textures swapped. This would be much easier to swap these ones, but...
Yeah, that'll be easy enough.
Should we? Or is it kind of cool to have them differentiated?
No, I think they should be snowy.
Yeah, okay.
I think they should swap.
Now, I haven't unlocked the the witch's hut yet in this run.
Yeah.
So let's just get some of these guys. Now you see how they're not affected by the snow.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I kind of like it. Okay, let's bring in some humans.
Oh, might have to put like a drop shadow on that text so it stands out against the light color.
Okay, get them, boys. Okay, yeah. So I quite like it. Like if we find one of these guys far away. I mean, these guys already have their things highlighted, but I think because of the highlight, it works. You get this like dark. I don't think I need to rewrite write the fog into the shader.
No, I don't think so. Also, at the moment, all the seasonal stuff that we've implemented is purely cosmetic. We haven't got any of the mechanics that we're going to add into it. So, for example, in winter, units could probably walk across the river. So that means those choke points are no longer choke points, and you can be attacked from almost anywhere. As well as, I think we're toying with a few other ideas. Like one, maybe if you keep your unit stationary for too long, it begins to freeze and lose health. So that'll make you always have to manage all of your units, not just leave some of the ones hiding over there. Like I know when I play, I do that a lot. It's just like, cool, you guys are just hanging out in that corner and that's your corner. Like I'm not worrying about you, but it might make you have to micromanage a little bit more.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll just get distracted at this point and play this for a while. But it's cool. It's quite fun to play it with even just the aesthetic difference. Like it's quite interesting.
Yeah, it feels new and fresh.